to be up for a while longer, hanging with y'all. Wanted to just talk a little bit about some stuff. First off, let's see. Wow, my head is like in a fog. I gotta find something to leave my phone on. D23 is gonna have, according to the Star Wars Direct, a bunch of announcements coming from Lucasfilm. They said surprises, just, you know, whatever. Since it's all Disney stuff, we'll probably see more. I'm not looking for a lot though, unless they're hiding things that they haven't told us about. But surprises, maybe. Again, I don't know which subscriber, I can't remember who it was, that said usually when people are getting ready to leave, they take a long, I mean, look, that vacation that Kennedy took, I mean, she'd never done that before. She was gone for 40 days. All right, let's just remember that 40 days. All right, so, maybe that'd be the surprise announcement. She's leaving. All right, just a lot of really weird things because I look at what they've got and I look at what has been shelved, and unless they're basically announcing a reset of the sequel trilogy, like Zaslav talked about DC, I don't know. I mean, look, it can't be same old, okay? It just can't be same old anymore, all right? So anyway, that's the stuff from D23, and that was actually, that came from the Star Wars Twitter account. I mean, look, I'm sorry, but I don't see anybody waiting in line for tickets to go and watch yet another authors panel of the High Republic. All right, really, you want to snooze, people, they'll snooze. No, I'm not wearing makeup today. I didn't feel like it. Let's see what else is going on. The earnings call. Now Disney has been adding more subscribers with their new streaming service in India, and they added 50 or 60 more countries to their streaming service. But I do have to admit that after what Zaslav said about making movies fit for the big screen, that I think we may start seeing stuff for streaming and stuff for the big screen with no day and date or 45-day window. Okay, I think Top Gun Maverick pretty much destroyed all of that. And I really, when I look at the streaming things, and I look at how much of a hurry Disney was in, I was really just when you're looking at it and you're going, look, you made more money by licensing things out like Star Wars, like sending Avengers to Netflix or Amazon or something. They made more money with that than they are with streaming. I mean, it was a greedy eye, I think, that was cast on streaming, okay? But everybody was making money, okay? And then you had the physical media being sold. We haven't even seen any Mandalorian in physical media. I mean, I'd like to get the Blu-rays, I'd like to get the Blu-rays of Kenobi, and there's nothing out there. It's like, and the reason why, they want you to watch it on their streaming. What happens if someone drops an EMP? What happens if someone hacks into Disney Plus and they can't get it up running for 2 weeks. All right. This is why you need physical media. So look for, I think, Chapek, not necessarily to double down. He'll talk about the numbers in a happy joy way that Disney likes. But look at him. I'm hoping to have a little more frankness from him on what's going on. And frankly, I'd like to hear a little more about moderating the message. All right. It's going to be very interesting what happens on Wednesday. And I'm probably going to be in Valiant Renegades chat, just listening to him as they go through it. As the call goes, it'll be about an hour and a half. So when they are done, I'll come back here and do a live stream and talk about. And of course, I will be writing everything down that I think is pertinent. But there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on right now at Disney. And yes, a friend of mine just is freaking out about the Gestapo, I mean, the KGB, I mean, the Stasi, I mean, the FBI harassing Donald Trump. And why this is, anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I really, you know what, keep the politics away from me anymore. It just pisses me off. All right, and I don't need it. I don't need it for my health. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, yet, Kennedy just coming back from her 40 days of wandering around Europe. You've got, the acolytes seemingly gonna start filming. We don't know. And, all these promised announcements. But I mean, God, at Comic-Con, I'd have thought that Star Wars would have had a bigger presence, and they didn't. I mean, the shells will scream, well, they showed the Andor trailer. Wow. Let's all just sit all together, huddled, and think, wow, that's a lot. I mean, Marvel had like 10 things. Star Wars had one, and then no one cared about the High Republic. No one. Okay. So I'm going to say this. There is something definitely going to happen with Lucasfilm in the next few months. And, I predict we get a hard date for her leaving. All right. It's just, things are quiet. It's too quiet. That whole, but it's not, it's very interesting to me, that, all this is happening right now. Okay. So we'll just have to see, but I don't know. Let's go through the rumors. There's a rumor of a Darth Vader TV streaming show. There's another rumor of a Luke Skywalker one, an old one from a long time ago. They could, but I predict they're gonna announce a reset. They have to. I mean, look, again, what did I say in my upload today? It is not the money they invested that matters. It is the money they lost on that investment, which far outweighs the money they invested. Let me put it to you this way. If Disney had put that $4.06 billion in the bank, they would have about $14 billion right now just sitting there in liquid assets that they could use. Instead, they bought Lucasfilm and invested another 7, 8, 9 billion in the parks, not to mention the movies. They're in the hole by, let's say, the movies net about, I would say 1.2 billion, maybe $2 billion. They're in the hole for like 10 billion with Lucasfilm. Okay, so anybody saying that, oh my God, they broke even? No, they didn't break even. They didn't fucking break even. Okay, you know, look at your paycheck once. Okay, I mean, look at your taxes. Look at your investments. Okay, you invest. Okay, let's say you invest $100, and you're getting okay. Well, the stock you invested is doing really well. All right, and you're getting, you're seeing it go up. You're looking at the dividends and everything. Guess what? You're not getting that money. That money. IRS comes and says we want this, fees, deductions. Pretty soon, you got about maybe half of what you earned on that investment. That's kind of the thing. Hey Dave, how you doing? So when I hear people say they invested too much, they invested all that money, they're not going to get rid of it, I just look at you and go, they did? And what did they get back from it? Nothing, nothing, nothing. There, that money, just kiss it goodbye, kiss it goodbye. Okay, all that money is gone. It's gone. Why? Because they were short-sighted. They really thought they had lightning in a bottle with the TFA, and didn't realize that there was a growing resentment against that movie. And there you go. Thank you. So, and they didn't realize that resentment was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the whole, the ground came out from underneath them with TLJ. And then Solo on the heels of that, and the Rise of Skywalker. Okay. There you go. And I really go, okay, this is, kind of a big deal right now anymore. When you start thinking, what can you do to make this better? The park is just a joke. The hotel, what is it, like $6,000 to stay for what, 3 nights? 2 nights? In a little tiny cubbyhole? And then you can't even have any fun? And it's cheap and it's trashy. Dave, I honestly, I think they thought that, like Bob Iger has has an ego that cannot be, like completely dissolved. His ego's all encompassing. You saw that 2.06 billion or whatever it was come in and was like, oh, we don't have to do any of the OT. These the fans love these characters. We do? Who said? That movie rode on Chewie, we're home. That's it. That was it. The promise they made was not what they didn't keep any of the promises they made. They didn't do anything they said they were gonna do, and they fucked everything up. All right, and you walk out, even TFA with all the hype for it. When I went to it, it was dead silence. And I don't know, maybe someone in the chat, what was it like if you went on opening day? When you walked out, what was it like? Because I didn't go on opening day, and it was a bunch of different groups of people and me, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching it, and then the awful thing happened, and I was so horrified I couldn't believe it. I mean, I just, unforgivable. That in of itself probably killed the Star Wars franchise right there in the movies, because there's no going back from it, and you cannot be redeemed from doing what you did there. And I'm not talking about Kyle Ron. talking about Disney. Because once they did that to Han Solo, there was no going back. And you could tell that the rest of it was going to be shit. And oh my God, it was. Okay? This is just really, it's going to be very interesting. Because David Zaslav, Andre was saying that he has more power than Bob Chapek. But again, Bob Chapek has the board behind him and Susan Arnold. Okay? And he doesn't, I really wish he'd be a little more bold with his moves. But the fact that you've seen a lot of people shut up and, Wokertons from Pixar shut up, it says something is going on. And I don't really think Chapek is the kind of guy to not do something. You know what I'm saying? The way they got Disney. Oh yeah, Trayla, you're right. I mean, it did suck. I walked out like I felt like my guts were kicked out from. Somebody just kicked me in the gut. Okay, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What? There has to be something good coming, and no, but we got Raylo. And they're now using bots to do Raylo with, because those people that were talking about it aren't even involved anymore. They've moved on. So an entire franchise ruined because a bunch of middle-aged women my age and a bunch of creepy teenage girls who don't even know which bathroom to use decided I'll get sloppy and gooey over the ugliest man on the planet. Okay, fine. And they ruined it. Bill, look, what you can't, it's about money, okay? It's about money. And when I heard Zaslav say reset for DC, I'm like, and they're putting together a 10-year plan. And I'm looking at what has to be fixed at Lucasfilm. Look, there is, if you hate Kenobi, fine. I think you're an idiot. But there's enough good that has been made that you can build on and work on. But I'm going to say this. If they do not fix the sequels, and put them in a different alternate universe or pretend like they didn't happen, the fans aren't going to come back, and the fans need to hear it. The fans need to hear a reset from Bob Chapek, okay? The fans don't need to, and I'll tell you something else. The fans need to see Kathy Kennedy gone, and then, her gang of morons. Tom had a point. Kennedy probably didn't even know that they were harassing Jon Favreau on the set of Boba Fett. All right, because she's so distant from what actually goes on. Got to remember, this is a woman who didn't look at the dailies of Solo till it was so-called 80% done. Okay, and then went, If I had been Bob Iger at that point, I'd have said, Kathy, you're done. All right, I don't care if they're friends. There comes a point where incompetence cannot be rewarded, okay? And it's about money. So the decisions coming up about Star Wars as a franchise is going to be about what earns the most money. So it's going to be Mandoverse, Ahsoka, and I'm personally kind of excited to see Andor, even if Fiona Shaw set fire to it. I think it might be a good show. I'll watch. I'll get up early when it drops. I'll watch the first 3 episodes, and I'll make up my mind then. All right? If I'm going to continue to watch it or not. Here's the deal. Part of the reason why you don't see the legacy heroes, except for Luke, is they're terrified to reintroduce them. No, don't. I mean, Leia, when as a little kid, is untouchable. Okay. But Leia, as a young woman, after what they did to her in the sequels, you got to be really careful. And Han the same way. I mean, people will get pissed. And, they're sick and tired of seeing people characters they fell in love with destroyed. And whatever. I mean, what happened to Leia was bullshit. Okay, just a second. I'm going to grab some. And what happened to Han, of course, was bullshit. I mean, drunk deadbeat dad Han Solo, and of course the story group runs with it because they look. If you don't think that they're not trolling us now, they are trolling us. That's exactly what they're doing. That's why Daniel Jose Older says all that crap. He gets away with it because he's trolling us. They all are, and it's time that we understood that and took it to mean what it is they don't care about what they're doing. They don't care about what they're writing. They don't care about Star Wars. They only care about their cause, and because they're a bunch of immature jackasses that I'm talking about, the story group, they only care about hurting people they imagine have victimized them. I mean, it's like, really guys, really. Like my new weight gloves, they're pretty cool. I mean, that's all they care about. They want to bully us because they think we bullied them. It's not true. We don't really care about them. I mean, what is the line? I'd actually have to care about you to hate you, and I don't care about you. There you go. Okay. I mean, and that's how we've been, and they think that that's, you're being hateful. It's like, no, you don't understand. I don't care about you. I don't want to hear about this anymore. Okay. But, and again, that attitude, story group, is losing Disney money. Again, you can't convince me that the High Republic has been successful. Okay, I mean, you got Kevin Scott saying, it's really successful. No, it's not. They sold contracts to Scholastic and then contracted out to Barnes & Noble to set up, like almost like an end cap so people could see the books and only High Republic could be on there. Okay, fine. And the only reason why anybody would even look at those end caps is if there was EU books on there. The new printings of the EU. Now, at our Barnes & Noble, they're just along the wall. And they're all mixed up. There's no end cap. But I tell you, a lot of EU books are getting sold, and a lot of High Republic books are gathering dust. And this is how I think it's going to happen. One day in the not so distant future, I'm going to walk in to Ollie's and see a buyout of High Republic books from Scholastic. The kids aren't reading it. I mean, how do these people know this stupid idea is doing so well if they're not, if individuals aren't buying them from Amazon, from Barnes and Noble, from Target. They don't. I mean, we sold a bunch of units to Scholastic who couldn't sell them. What do? Make a deal with Ollie's, make a deal with the dollar store, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and there they go. They're gone. That's inventory that Scholastic doesn't have anymore. And that's, hey, whatever, okay? It's going to be very interesting and when we get to the thing, when we get to the D23. But again, I think we're going to at least get an indication, something, I'm hoping, from Bob Chapek. Yeah, the libraries across the country that bought him. I mean, every time I think of that book, Into the Dark, and I think about Geo the Rock, and I think about the asexual celibate gay guy, I don't care. You could get the biggest stoner to come up with a Star Wars story that would make more sense than that phrase I just uttered. Asexual celibate gay man. Hey, cross element. None. I mean, I can't make that work no matter how hard I try. Oh wait, I know what the words mean. Okay, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And of course, we've got Star Wars Direct crowing about that BIPOC girl playing whoever she's playing in The Acolyte, she thinks. But really, I mean, look, if Disney can let a show get to the point where they're principal photography and they cancel it, I would be scared to death if I was working on that show. Okay, why? Because no one is safe. Okay, the boss just got a three-year renewal, and moderation is coming, whether you like it or not. And the fans don't want The Acolyte. I don't care how many shills on Twitter or their bots scream for it. I don't care how many people, who work for Lucasfilm in San Francisco get all upset when you call them out for it. The general consensus is no one wants it. Okay, that's the general consensus. So, money being tight. We've got China raging. We've got, look, we could wake up tomorrow and find out the park in Shanghai was taken back by the Chinese, and the park in Hong Kong taken back. I mean, Disney doesn't have a foot that means anything in China. It doesn't, okay? So, they're in a very tenuous position. And spending money on something no one wants is a bad business model. It is. It's just a bad business model. So when I think about what is going to happen in the earnings call, and when I look down the road, I see Disney trying to figure out how to get themselves away from China, okay? And that's going to complicate matters, okay? And that's probably a bigger deal than anything right now because you want to talk about investing money that you'll never see again? The parks in China, the park in Hong Kong. I don't want to get into the Hong Kong situation because that pisses me off. And I look at the Brits and go, good job. Guilty white morons, good job. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. I think we're going to find out that they did add a lot of subscribers to their roles. I think they're probably going to not do as well financially. Lightyear crashed. Thor was a joke. Let's see, Doctor Strange at least looked okay, and it did pretty well considering it never showed in China. But there you go. And of course, I did get something from Spider-Man, but that's a long time ago. So I'm predicting a mediocre, lukewarm earnings call. Okay, I do believe there'll be a slight bump up in the shares, but hopefully we'll get some indication of what Chapek wants to do with Lucasfilm. Again, what did I say? If you have a company and you have to take money from one division and put it in the other division because that division isn't earning money and it's losing money, that's not a good business strategy. Okay, and that's exactly what Bob Iger did with Lucasfilm. Okay, he didn't, take the money that they were earning on their massive movies. They didn't earn any. They didn't. The only one they made money on was TFA, and that was like the apex of karma. They're good karma. But because it was built on lies and betrayal, everything else was going to go down. And it did. Okay, it did. Anyway, I got to go. So you guys have a good evening. And I'm sorry this is so short, but Toxic Femininity is on right now. Tom and the girls. Star Wars Theory put something up. I'm going to look at the headline and see if I want to watch it. Talk to y'all later. See you around the galaxy.